Hello rock and metal fans, welcome to Iridium Rock and Metal Review. So today I'm going to do a review of an album that's been out for a little while, an album that I missed. I come across this as on YouTube, just come up as a suggestion. I think it's because I've been looking at the Toddler Torah songs, that are coming out on the album next week, and this come up as a suggestion to watch. Didn't know anything about this album. Came out back in 2019, I believe. I'm not entirely sure, but obviously it's not a new release. But if I do come across albums like this and I love them, and I think you guys will, and I think you might not have heard them, I might be preaching to the choir here. You guys might have heard this album, but didn't know anything about it. As I was actually reading about the album, it said about the lack of promotion it had, so perhaps no one has. So the band is actually called Walls of Blood, and the band consists of Glenn Drover. He's on the guitars and the keys, and he was with Megadeth for a while. He left them because of family commitments, I think. But what an amazing guitarist. Chris Miles on bass and Scott Barrymore on drums. And what he's done, and look, this ain't always for me either. He's got hold of some of the best vocalists in metal around at the moment. So it's an album of 10 songs full of vocalists that are well known or not so well known, but are all top notch, absolutely top notch vocalists. Some of the best vocalists you hear out there. Some I'm really happy about because I've discovered them now. Didn't know anything about them. So some of the vocalists he's got on here are Toddler Torah. I've already spoke about. He sings on one song. A guy called Niels K. Rue. He's actually in a band with Glenn Drover, the guitarist, called Eidolon. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. You've got Chuck Billy of Testament. I love his singing. It fits that style of music perfectly. Henning Bass or Henning Bass, ex Firewind, and Metallium. Plays with a band called Metallium now. Tim Ripper Owens is on here singing a song. Great vocalist. Matt Cuthbertson sings on one song. Dan Cleary of a band called Striker, that are a really good band. He sings on one here. And Lance Harville also. So obviously I'll talk about the vocalists as we go on through the songs, these 10 tracks. But man, this is full on metal, sometimes a little bit thrashy, but when sometimes like myself, I love a really good singer, and sometimes I stay away from thrashier sort of stuff because of the vocals. I'm not into the harsh growling vocals, and sometimes I yearn to hear brilliant singers, brilliant metal vocalists over thrashy sort of stuff. Not to say this album is all thrash. It's a mixture of like true metal, a bit of power metal chucked in, and a bit of thrash, but always with melody throughout. So, don't think that I'm going all extreme metal on you. This is full of melody, and it fits right in with you guys who listen to this channel. Otherwise I wouldn't have recommended this. This is a great album. Just so annoyed that I missed it at the time, but it's here now, so that's cool. Let's go through it track by track. So the first track is a heavy track, Leave This World Behind, and this has got Niels K. Rue, which I said is the vocalist in Eidolon with Glenn Drover at the moment, I believe. So this song starts off with a nice clean guitar bit. When the album starts off like that, you're going to get it full blast. It's like the little intro to keep you guessing, and then it kicks in heavy in a power metal type vibe. Vocalist is brilliant, and he actually sounds like he's got that Toddler Torah, Jeff Tate type voice, like sort of a classic metal sort of powerful voice. It's got keys in this song. I haven't noticed many keyboards on this album, but on this song it's quite prevalent in parts of the chorus a bit later on in the song. Really riff heavy, and solo, like every solo on here is so good. This guy, Glenn Drover, and he wouldn't be in Megadeth for nothing. He's a fantastic guitarist, really technical, can play at speed, can play melodic. brilliant song, Leave This World Behind. That's the kick-off, and a great song to kick off the album because it's heavy and it's fast. One of the faster songs in the album. Next comes the Todd Latora song, Discordia. I think this was released as a single, or it was released as a video on YouTube, like a lyric video as such. This is cool because this fits in with all that, like this sort of more progressive side of Queensryche sort of sound. You know, when Queensryche do it more progressive, which they mix it up, don't they? Sometimes they're more melodic, sometimes they've got a bit of progressive music mixed in there. This has got that. Few odd time signatures throughout the song. Suits Todd down to the ground, and he hits some real highs on this one. You know, he's absolutely amazing vocalist. Again, riff heavy as it is throughout the album. He's like a riff machine, this guy. Glenn Drover, he sort of reminds me a bit, you know, not fully, but sometimes that sort of riffing that you get with the Iced Earth band, John Schaefer band, you know, real heavy sort of riffing, brilliant going on. Solo nicely, like in this song as well, mixing melody with speed as well. He does mix it up within a solo. Sometimes starts off with a melody, then goes into the speedy stuff, or the other way around. Brilliant guitarist. Next up, Waiting to Die. This is the song with Chuck Billy from Testament singing. And this is great because I love Testament, and Chuck Billy, you know, like I said, with Thrash, sometimes the vocals do put me off, but with Chuck Billy, I just think it's perfect. It's sort of a more of aggressive... That's the cat sneezing, by the way. You all right? He's all right. Anyway, this is Chuck Billy's vocals are perfect throughout Testament because he's got that aggressive sort of old sort of Hetfield sort of style, but the more aggressive sort of style that he had back in the 80s. It fits thrashy music perfectly. This is probably one of more of my favourite songs. Does sound like Testament does now, like a more modern Testament now. Drumming on this is brilliant. Double kick drumming's brilliant by Scott Barrymore throughout this. Nice melodic chorus breaking the song up, and the song's nicely broken up as well. It's got a nice sort of slow clean guitar part throughout the solo, little twin lead bit as well. Never go wrong with twin lead in my book. And the bass as well throughout this album, I've got to mention that. Brilliant bit of bass guitar work throughout the album done by Chris Miles, and a lot prevalent on songs like this where the double kick drums going and the bass is thumping. Brilliant. Waiting to Die is a great song. Next is Blood Sacrifice Ritual. This has got Henning Bass, I think that's how you pronounce his name, on vocals, and he's ex-Firewind, and I like Firewind. I think they're one of the better power metal bands. And he's with, like I said, he's with that band Metallium now. So this is back to the full pelt tempo, fast, sort of fast, one of the faster songs. Nothing's really, there's only one song that's really fast, but more extreme. I'll get around to that later, but this is more the power metal side. Double kick drum again, it drives the song all the way through. Great vocals, sounds great on the lower register. This singer, you know, there's one thing being able to sing high, which this guy can anyway, but when you sing lower, that is just as important. You know, sometimes singers haven't got the right tone, or they haven't got the range to sing low. Sometimes, you know, the way your voice sounds low in metal is just as important. Another fast technical solo again, you know, on this. Let's just say that the guitaring, well, the musicianship throughout for every member in this band is spot on. Absolutely brilliant. Okay, next up, Tarnished Dreams.
Welcome, my friends, to the failed resurrection.
This is the one with Tim Ripper Owens of Ex-Priest and Iced Earth, obviously. Excellent groove to this song. This is another one of my favourites. This is true metal. Cool transitions in this, like odd time signatures in the chorus, but not taking you out of the groove. Perfectly done. Fast solo on this one, almost like neoclassical. You know, that Yngwie Malmsteen type speedy sort of stuff going on. The favourite part for me though is after the solo, the riff. There's a real riff in mad riff bit, like a breakdown heavy that goes into this song. I love it. Absolutely love it. Next up, this is probably for me, the weakest song on the album, Walls of Blood, with Matt Cuthbertson on the vocals. So this is more closer to the extreme sort of stuff. This is the only song really that touches on extreme metal for me. You know, it's not for me, but a lot of people like it fast, and you know, will like this one. Just not for me. Walls of Blood. It's heavy. It's more extreme for me. People probably watching this going, "You think that's extreme, you prick?" You know, but remember, I'm a melodic, heavy rock and metal guy. I'm not into that stuff. So for others, it's probably like the most mellow song ever. So anyway, getting back again on track with, I think these next two songs are probably my favourites. You know, I know I've said that one of my favourites going on, but these two are really strong, and it's good because they come more on the back of the album. This is The Fault of Man with Henning Bass again on the vocals, ex-Firewind and Metallium. A very cool song, really melodic, but still heavy metal. Every song on this is heavy, but with melody chucked in. You can't help. This is one of them ones you can't help bopping your head to. This is a great song. Almost got a Pantera feel to this, especially the solo. You know, there's twin lead parts in as well. It's got that sort of bluesy, sort of Pantera type feel. A great song. Thought of Man is brilliant. Next up, Dark Lords of Sleep. This is the one with the Striker vocalist Dan Cleary. This is true metal, classic metal. Vocals very cool, almost maideny feel to this. You know, and the vocals make it sound a little bit more like that as well. There's a quiet breakdown after a couple of minutes that's and then there's a really cool melodic solo going throughout this. Brilliant. And then it rocks, it builds and builds and builds, and it rocks out till the end. So that's excellent. Next up is a cover of Junkhead by Alice in Chains, and this is the one with Lance Harville on this, and he's worked with Rex Brown out of Pantera, so you can see there's a couple of, you know, links there. Maybe the music is slightly Pantera-ish, but remember Megadeth are along them sort of lines as well. So Lance Harville does a great job on here on these vocals, and what they've done on this song is, I mean, I'm not a massive fan of cover versions. I prefer cover, you know, songs that were bad and then they get totally, you know, remade into something totally different, and it really elevates the song into something else you haven't heard before. This is very true to the original, which is one of my favourite fucking songs in the world, Junkhead, Alice in Chains. So, but what they've done with it, they've probably ramped up the heaviness a bit, you know, down-tuned the guitars a little bit more. It's really heavy. It's really true to the song. It stays, that feeling of doom and dreariness that Junkhead gives you is still on this. So they kept the vibe there, which is cool. And you know, it's when you've got a brilliant song, don't stray away from it too much. Don't try and do something which will make it worse. It ain't actually worse. It's a great cover, but I probably would have preferred something original on the album. But there you go, still a good song. That's Junkhead number 9. And it finishes off with Seven Spirits, which is another heavy song. Henning Bass back on the vocals. So he'd actually done 3 songs, Henning Bass, I think, on this album. This is very riff heavy again, very technical riffing, almost Megadeth riffing on this, you know, really sort of difficult. It sounds difficult to play. I wouldn't have a clue because I don't fucking play guitar. I play about 2 chords. That's about it. Very cool technical riffing, like I said, heavy song, but yet again, the melody is not forsaken for heaviness, without a doubt. Vocals again, very cool. Like Henning Bass is a great vocalist, and another great solo. So this is a real one I missed, and this is the cool thing in it. Because I'm totally researching music all the time and looking at new music, I get suggestions, or, you know, and things come up and pop up and listen to this, and I do, and occasionally I listen, I think, fucking, what the fuck was that? That's brilliant. And that's exactly what happened with this because of the Todd Latora connection. And now I've got another album that's brilliant. You know, it's absolutely brilliant. So recommend it, completely recommend it. And, you know, if you're into them, like I said, I'm usually not into albums that have loads of different vocalists. But what you got here, you got vocalists that are so good, it sort of passes you by and doesn't matter. You know, that mixture doesn't really matter. I think I've always said that if you're going to do an album like that with different vocalists, it has to be something fucking special, and this is fucking good. So there you go. Thanks for listening. I hope you like the album. Let me know what you think. If you heard it before anyway, and you're probably thinking I'm an idiot for recommending it because you know it already. I didn't. Simple as that. So I thought I would put it out to you guys, seeing as it seems to be well on the down low at the time. Didn't hear nothing about it, so it might be the same for you. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.